The topic of my speech is medical marijuana. It's a subject that we're hearing a lot about today in the media, a lot of debate, a lot of back and forth, a lot of arguing for and against. Most of the arguing against is people with the image of the hippie stoner sitting around just recreationally smoking marijuana and not contributing anything to society. But to contrast that image with this example of a man in a video who has Parkinson's disease and who is shaking, has such bad tremors that he's not even able to hold anything, he's not able to talk. He's being videotaped, and in the video he takes some puffs of marijuana, and within 30 seconds to a minute he's stopped shaking and he's able to talk and he's able to hold a glass of water, and it's quite remarkable. And I think that this shows that there's mountains of indisputable evidence that clearly shows that marijuana is not only a recreational drug, it's something that can be used in a medical situation. Now, to start with, how can marijuana benefit us? Primarily, it's being used for pain, and it's helpful with migraines, depression, anxiety. It's helpful with hypertension and autoimmune diseases. It provides relief from autoimmune diseases for inflammation and cramps, tremors. It's good for epilepsy and seizures. So it seems that marijuana is a good candidate to replace a lot of the overprescribed opioids that are not only dangerous, but they have a lot of side effects, and there's a large risk of overdosing, people accidentally overdosing. So a 2015 article on the CDC website gives the following statistics. The amount of prescription opioids that have been prescribed since 1999 has quadrupled. And on the same website, from the years 2000 to 2015, 500,000 Americans have accidentally died from overdose. And that's 500,000 people who have accidentally overdosed. According to an article written by Colleen Barry for the New York Times, the rate of opioid-related overdoses has decreased by 25% in the states where medical marijuana is accessible and available. The history of marijuana goes back 5,000 years. In a 2016 article written by Nelson and Elizabeth McGee for the Salem Press Encyclopedia, cannabis use goes back to 2,700 BC, where the Chinese were using it to treat pain and to treat seizures, to treat muscle spasms, depression, nausea, menstrual cramps. So it's very useful for many different things, and its history goes very far back, so it's not something that you can ignore. As far as modern history goes, it was commonly used in America up until the 1920s, when it was made illegal. So why is marijuana illegal? Well, let's think about how the pharmaceutical companies, it's in their best interest to suppress the availability of